What's up, Schmoedown fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew Dimalanta.
And I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
Ooh, shorter episode today, because not really anything to talk about. We're just in the waitings of the debut match.
The cold, dark winter months in between seasons.
Yeah, so luckily it'll only be what, 2 episodes, and then we get to cover. So really quick while we do that, I think this first episode is a live one. I don't know if it's pre-recorded, but it's a pay-per-view, the first one of the year. But the way we handled last season was like we let the live events go on for a week.
Yes.
And then we talk about it. We're not going to do that anymore. Because if we do that, then we're going to be behind everybody. And because every single after show now has like, all right, it drops, and then either they go on live right after the match.
Which, good for you, not doing that.
or they talk about like the next scheduled show.
Yeah, and there's just going to be so many matches a week that it's not going to really be feasible. We're just going to fall behind.
There's going to be 3 pay-per-views per month.
We'll give a zillion spoiler alerts, warnings.
Yeah, so this is your spoiler warning for the entire season.
Yes.
We will be talking about matches as they come out because it's just too much to cover.
Yeah.
And to wait and sit on that would be ridiculous. So that's how we're going to be handling the matches. I'm sorry for those who don't get them right away. That's just the way the Schmoedown is now. It's just there's so much happening this season. This season is going to be unreal with the amount of matches.
Yeah,
because
it's going to be crazy.
12-person rosters.
3 matches a week or something crazy like that.
Something like that, and pretty much everybody on the roster is going to be playing. From what I hear, like you think, oh yeah, your last spot isn't gonna do anything. Whether it's in the beginning of the season or towards the middle of the season, everybody's going to have an opportunity to play. So I know you're not happy about that, but
stress. Oh boy!
But so it's going to be a loose conversation. This episode, not a whole lot to talk about.
I mean, I'm sure there is a lot.
There is. It's just
I haven't been like taking notes because it's like. What?
Harloff didn't make a fun little joke because I commented on he's on stereo a lot now, and I'm actually really enjoying the app.
Yeah, and by the way, sorry to interrupt your train of thought because I know where you're going, and I can hopefully remind you if you forget.
No,
but Christian is like all over stereo, and when he first started doing it, we were like, "What is this?
That's actually a joke.
What is this? What?
That's actually a joke in the show. He does his breath like, what is this?
But we were like, what is this? Like, is this some kind of sponsor for SEN? Because, spoiler alert, again, I'll let you get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were like, what is this, some kind of sponsor on SEN or something? And we checked it out. We both made accounts. It seems really cool. Stereo seems, if you're not already involved, it looks like it's, I don't know, a social media type app.
See, it's social media, like
it's like a podcasting social media ish kind of.
It's like if like Twitter and Instagram had like crossing had a baby with.
I don't know about Instagram.
Well, no, you know what I mean. It's like if social media had a baby with podcasting.
Yes.
So it's a lot of fun. I love the interactions and things like that. I'm curious to see how we can use stereo.
Yeah. Because it's kind of like you create to my understanding, I don't fucking know. But like, I guess you make a profile and then, I made one, Andrew makes one, say we wanted to do a stereo together. Since we follow each other, we could call each other almost like a cell phone call.
Yeah.
And we would just talk and it would just be like, oh, we're just talking on the phone, except it's being recorded and people probably gonna listen to it on
live.
This app live. Or on a playback.
Yeah, and you can cycle people in. Like you just say, all right, bye, Nikki, and then you bring in the next person.
Word.
It's a lot of fun. And
while you're having your conversation, people can leave like little voice notes, and they don't just pop up. You have like control over when they play.
Yeah.
So they kind of go into a queue if you get a bunch, and so people can like as they're listening record a little voice note, and they can jump in and like yell something, it's getting old, guys, but yeah, it seems like a lot of fun. I kind of want to try it.
It's just curious how we would do it, because like then you'd have to sit in another room when we talk on the phone. So
it's true. That's very true.
I mean, it seems like, because I've been listening, I would pop into different conversations and stuff. I listened to Bateman at one point. Thomas Harper had a show last night, and I popped in for a second, and it's fun.
Yeah. My only thing that I wish that, I don't know, maybe it's coming. Who knows? But I kind of wish that there was a way to do more than just 2 people. Maybe there is, and I'm just unaware of it, but I don't think there is because I haven't seen more than 2 people. So anyway, back to your story about, popping into Brett and Christian's stereo.
Yeah, so I popped in a couple of times on that show because I did a jokey one, and then I popped back in. They're like, "Was that actually Andrew Dimalanta?" I was like, so I popped up again, like, "Yeah, this is actually Andrew Dimalanta. I'm loving the show. It's fun. It's whatever." And he's like, "Oh, I'm glad that I finally got Andrew listening to my shows again." Whoops. And it's true. I had fallen off of SCN, and I listen to Backstage when I can. But
it's a lot of content.
It's a lot of content.
And also, I'd wager that Christian doesn't listen to this show anymore. So,
I wonder why.
If you do, prove me wrong and at me. But I don't think I'm wrong. So, it kind of evens out.
Yeah. And it's not that, because SCN's become something that, like, I not that I lost interest. It's just not in my wheelhouse anymore.
It's taken a different shape. It's definitely not the same show that it was when it first started, and it's just taken a different shape. It's evolved into a different type of show.
Yeah, and that's
just the way it is.
And it's not in my wheelhouse. So, like, the show that Brett and Christian do on stereo,
that is right up my alley.
That is exactly what I love.
That's kind of what SCN was when it first came out.
Yeah, and it's almost the exact same thing as, like, Two Bears and Your Mom's House.
Oh my God.
Except not as raunchy.
Well, that is true. If you're looking for, oh my God, I will always look for an excuse to plug these podcasts. And it's not like I even know anybody. I wish I knew these people. But if you're looking for just a ridiculous stream of consciousness type of podcast that does involve some raunchy humor, lots of bad words, lots of joking around, nonsense, whatever. Oh, man, check out Two Bears, One Cave, Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, Bruce Kreischer. And also Your Mom's House is another podcast that Tom Segura and his wife, Christina Pachitsky, do. And I cannot get enough.
That's great.
Your Mom's House, Two Bears, wish I knew them, still going to plug them.
Anyways, we went on a
not like tangent. They need my plug, my God. But listen to
very
them. They're
popular
great.
shows. I mean,
I can't get enough.
No, I can't get enough.
And also, I'm loving this Brett and Christian stereo.
Oh,
so
no,
can't get enough of
that.
Yeah,
I've tuned in for the past 5 shows. I'm like,
it seems to drop every day. Our time, East Coast time at 3.
Yeah. And
so
I think what I love about it so much is how loose it is.
That's what I love.
And it's the kind of podcast that, like, if we had the time, I was like, let's just do that. I don't talk about nothing and everything.
Yeah.
So one day.
One day.
But anyways, let's cycle this back to the Schmoedown. I mean, there's not much that we can really this is exactly what we planned talking about. So we loosely had a couple topics.
Had a couple topics here. I think the first one that we probably could have talked about last time, but there was a plethora to talk about, so we didn't. The First Class League.
Yes. So the people that did not get drafted to a squad or a faction during the draft, they now have the option and the opportunity to still play, just in this the developmental league, I think he's calling it, because Christian's trying to avoid the minor leagues of the Schmoedown. It's like people can make the comparison, but he's like, no, this is the developmental league. It's a completely separate thing. It's a part of the Schmoedown umbrella, but it's its own thing. It's a completely new league with a new commissioner, new writing staff, new editing. It's like a completely new. If you would like to think of wrestling terms, it's like if this Schmoedown is like SmackDown. First Class League is probably like
Raw.
No, it's more like TNT, TNT. Oh, okay. It has its own stories and its own belts and all that stuff.
Is it gonna have its own belts?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I know very little. All I know is that the people that weren't drafted have the opportunity to go into this. So, names like Warfather, who was offered a spot in the First Class League, is like, nope, I'm good.
Wasn't interested.
Yeah,
and that's
that's fair. I mean,
it's the way it is.
It's almost like if I got offered, like, oh no, I don't want to take a step back. I want to compete, in the Schmoedown. I've already competed in the Schmoedown. Let me compete in the Schmoedown.
I mean, it is a good way though to get your name out there, because if you start wrecking shop, then someone's gonna.
And that's the point of this.
Looking at you.
Yeah, and that's the point of this league is, if you didn't get drafted and you can cut it, join the FCL, and then start making a name for yourself. Because then when free agency comes up, the second free agency wave, it's like, hey, that person's been doing really well in that league. I'm dropping this person, picking them up for late season points. So it's interesting, and because the commissioner of that league is now oh my god,
Brad Gilmore.
So it's gonna be very interesting to see what familiar faces we get to see in there, and what because people I think late to the party would be perfect for the FCL.
Yes.
People like them because you're gonna need some kind of anchor.
Yeah.
Like familiar faces. So if I was Warfather, I'd consider it, just because, just so you're still on people's mind.
And he could change his mind. Who knows?
Yeah. And
Emily Rose Jacobson.
Yeah, that's another person that's fantastic for that.
People have been asking Brett Sheridan, the Flirt and Flows, if
he's going to show up in either that or the Schmoedown in one shape or form.
Yeah.
So he'll find his way back to the Schmoedown.
Yeah, for sure.
But people like that I can definitely see. These Star Wars players that didn't get picked up, maybe prove yourself, because there's people that got drafted. Maybe I don't know. The Barstool people got drafted. Maybe what if they're not as good as everybody says they are? Look at the Star Wars people in the FCL. Maybe swap them out.
Yeah, like mid-season or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Free agency.
Free agency, yeah.
Yeah, and what I was looking for before, I know somebody had asked, Steve Armstrong had asked to give us our thoughts, on the First Class League, and does Nikki think she would have joined the FCL if she hadn't been drafted? That's a good question there, Steve. That's a good one, my friend. Am I being honest?
Yes, be honest.
Full disclosure, probably not. Because I think I said this on last week's episode. Like when the live show ended, when the draft ended, we were online playing games with our friends and whatever, and we were in a team chat with our friends, and we were just playing games, whatever, and I'm like, show's over, I guess I'm not getting drafted, whatever. And the first couple of Twitter draft picks started happening, the last 2 rounds,
or
whatever,
last couple rounds.
And a couple picks happened, and I happened to see them on my Twitter feed, and I was like, oh well, no.
Not getting picked up. Okay.
Oh, well, no harm, no foul. And I was just in my mind, I was just kind of like, hey man, whatever. Threw my hat in the ring. No one picked it up. Whatever. And then I kind of thought about it First Class League. Nah. It was almost kind of a relief to think
pressure was
getting
off.
drafted.
Pressure's off, so you don't.
Pressure's off me now. I can just focus on this guy. I don't have to worry about the anxiety of oh my god, I gotta compete. So I was kind of getting comfy. What are you gonna do? I'm not getting drafted. Probably gonna say no to the First Class League. What are you gonna do? Oh well, guess I dodged that bullet. And then I got the notification. I'm like, oh no, right back in the mess. So
right back in the mess.
So, truly honest, I probably would not have.
If that was the case, do you think if Christian called you and be like, come on, get into the FCL, you think you would change your mind?
It would have been a hard thing to say no to. He would be really hard to say no to. I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know that I can answer. If Brad Gilmore called me, I'd be like, I'm good, bro. But if Christian called me,
I don't know. I'm interested to see, because it's going to be on Twitch, I believe. I think so. Once a week. It'll be 2 matches a week. And then I think 3 to couple weeks later it'll air on the Clips channel for SEN.
Oh.
So if you don't catch it live, you can catch it on YouTube. I'm interested to see what the talent pool is like, because
me too.
Managers would be foolish if they don't keep maybe looking back at it and have a player on their squad. It's like, hey, pay attention to this for me, because I got to worry about the actual matches, and then see if there's anybody that might catch somebody's eyes.
Yeah.
Because for all we know, the next Adam Collins story didn't get picked up, and they're sitting in the FCL.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see. I just love the fact that it's a completely different thing on its own. It's not like the shadow of the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
It can live on Twitch, and it can live on its own little thing. And you might, I would love to see personalities from the Schmoedown jump into the FCL as maybe announcers or things like that. I think that'd be fun to do.
But I wonder, what does it mean for the future of the Schmoedown? I doubt it would be like this, but I wonder if like the FCL is your route to be able to be
could
drafted.
Be. I mean, it could be.
Do you have to go through the FCL before you can even be considered
I
to be
don't
on the
think
draft
so.
list,
So,
or can you circumvent that?
I see this as a tool for your name getting out there. So these people that are going to the FCL now, they can either get picked up in the free agency, or it's just building the resume for the draft for next year.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So, and then I'd imagine the rookies that send in their tape for next year's draft, and if they don't get drafted, it's like, right, well, the way I prove myself, FCL.
Same deal. Okay.
And I don't think it starts the same season. I think that they're starting it in, what do they say, like summer, I think it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a shorter season.
It'll be a shorter, I think the second half of the season of the Schmoedown, I think that's when it starts, because they got to bring together a huge new staff. Like, again, it's a completely new staff.
Yeah.
It's a completely new thing. So I'm interested to see what it's got and who comes out of it, because and what Schmoedown starts actually like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah.
It's just and that's a way that you can practice without it affecting your actual Schmoedown record.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be fun.
That's true. And I'm curious to see what the like caliber of questions are, like, because you know how everybody loves to talk about the difficulty of questions, even though it's all very subjective.
I mean, hey,
you know?
that's the way it is in the Schmoedown. Your rookie matches don't normally have the same kind of like.
You can usually tell the difference between a championship match and a rookie match, a debut match. You know, so I wonder if it's going to be more of those like rookie debut type
it
feelings.
will, and I think bringing in, I don't know who is on the writing staff for that or who's on the production staff for that, but I think bringing in people like that used to run fan leagues.
Yeah,
I think that would be a smart move to like, hey, you guys are used to bringing in talent like this, and you know the fan leagues at a certain point were basically the minor leagues of the Schmoedown, and that's how you got your name out there for all these other competitors. So yeah, fun stuff. Let's go ahead and move on to the next thing that we have.
The next thing I have on my list is the topic of team captains.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about this. So I don't know where it might have been on stereo, because Christian's been announcing everything on stereo.
He's just been going wild on stereo announcing things.
We actually had this conversation in our faction meeting that we just had, and it's like, oh, because it was we're on top of the nicknames, and like, who I forgot who said it. I think it was I don't want to give anything but I've seen the ways, but he's like, yeah, he said like, it's one of these things that I'm thinking, and then he goes out on stereo like not even 10 minutes later. It's like, yep, it's locked. This is his name. It's like, okay, I guess.
That's awesome.
So yeah, he's been doing everything on stereo, but this new thing of team captains, I don't know what entails, what the team captain will be doing for the team. It might just be like, you know, this
just
a
like
mentor role or.
Just like an honorary title.
Yeah, I mean,
because like it's not like you're gonna have some kind of like power over the faction.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has a lot to do with something like captains are in regular sports. Like we both played sports growing up.
Right.
So
I think
there was team captains.
That's true, because I was captain of my basketball team for a couple of years.
No
big deal or anything, but I definitely was. And we went undefeated in the first year. No big deal.
Yeah, I just think
point
it's like
guard
that.
life. Am I right,
ladies? I just think it's just something like that. Like somebody, like the team will vote on somebody. Like, this is our captain. This is. I imagine it's like a mentor role. Somebody that's there. Maybe this team captain can fill in as the manager. If said
that
manager,
was going to be my question.
Yeah,
because you know how Christian mentioned the thing about how there was going to be a pool of like ad hoc type managers.
Yeah,
and like, you know, say Jay Washington was available and say, you know, Coy wasn't.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, Jay.
He fell in for me.
And I could just be missing something or forgetting something because there's just been so many announcements. But like, can you have another member of your faction be a stand-in manager, or does it have to be one of these not involved people?
I don't know.
Somebody who doesn't have a stake in a faction. That's my question, and it very well could have been ironed out, and I'm just a dummy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's my question.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this team's captain thing is just, it's a fun thing because the more this becomes a sport, the more things you bring in, like for actual sports, like because team captains, they never really did a lot for teams. It was just like, hey, this is the guy or girl that we look to.
It's just like
in hard times and stuff
a desirable distinction to be like, oh well, you know, I'm great. You know,
and
you don't really
imagine,
have any like managerial.
Yeah, and I imagine it'd be one of the signed players
Probably.
For your team will most likely be
Irwin
or McQueenie.
Yeah.
I imagine it has to be somebody that is like involved to a point to where they're almost like almost co-managing the team. Like
Dungeon Bateman.
Yeah,
Pretty.
Yeah, either that or Merle.
Him or Merle. It just Bateman just kind of
exchange is going to be most definitely be Roka.
Yeah, I would think so.
My vote, and there's not any slack on anybody else on my squad. My vote would go for Bibbs.
That's probably what I would vote for too if I was a Merc.
So that's what I'm thinking, and I honestly I forgot completely about team captains because we just had our faction meeting. That did not come up.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, because that's what I'm curious about is like say you had a match.
Mm-hmm.
No, even better example. Say I have a match. Say I have a match, and then say Sam is like unavailable.
Mm-hmm. Marie.
Ooh.
Could she step in?
That's actually not where I was going, but whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say like. No, that's actually a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
Could another faction mate? Could Marie be my stand-in manager?
I think that might be against the rules. I think they would have to be pre-approved. But that's a question. Could this be
could Rachel Cushing be my stand-in manager? I guess maybe is she pre-approved?
Yeah.
Because I think somebody made like a Jay Washington example.
Yeah.
So if like Jay was an approved manager, if Rachel was an approved manager, I don't know how it works.
That's why I'm curious. But if this team captain thing is like everybody voted on it, maybe it's like that's the de facto stand-in manager if A, B, or C isn't available. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting and I just think it's a fun thing, a fun little honor for the factions to have. That everybody gets, and that's how I think people will be named captains. Is the faction came together, we all voted. This person is our team captain.
Yeah, it's just more of an incentive to perform higher, better, faster, higher, faster.
And
Captain Marvel, higher, faster, farther.
What?
Doesn't Captain Marvel say stuff like that? Isn't there like a tagline for Captain Marvel?
Oh.
Higher, further, faster.
If it's not Star Wars, I'm throwing it out of my head right at the moment. So
I didn't see Captain Marvel. Please excuse me. I thought that was a thing.
There are other movies other than Star Wars movies?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Maybe I'm thinking of Star Wars. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, that's a fun thing. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would
Team
you
captains.
like on your faction? Who would you be voting for?
I'd probably say Irwin or McQueenie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably Irwin just because he's been like in it, and McQueenie has been gone for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're both former champs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So they would both obviously be qualified, but I wonder if it would be like Irwin. He's, momentum hasn't stopped. He hasn't been out at all.
Yeah.
But I would happily vote for either one.
Yeah. Not Liz. I mean, Liz could be.
Liz could be too. I mean, any of the 3 signed people.
Yeah.
I just figure seniority wise. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Ethan's been in it longer than Liz.
Yeah. And McQueenie has been in it longer than Ethan.
Yes.
Right?
I can't remember what. I think did they have the same rookie season?
I don't know.
I can't remember, but yeah. McQueenie did step away from the game for a little bit.
But honestly, any of the 3 of them,
yeah,
I'd be like, yeah, man, I don't. Yeah, absolutely. I vote for any one of you.
I wonder if any of these big boy rookies want to I'm the
Give
team.
Me some respect.
Yeah.
Make me the manager.
Yeah.
Like, okay, bro.
Or the captain.
You got it.
The Brandon, the Hannah mindset. It's like I'm better. I should be the manager thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Calm down.
Yeah. So
calm down.
Yeah, so the last thing that we were going to talk about, again, shorter episode.
You don't even need my notes, do you? I could tell by the way you said it that you already know.
Yeah. You go ahead and introduce this next topic of discussion.
Well, it came up because of stereo. Because Andrew was listening to Thomas Harper, and he was speaking with Lacey Gillerin. I'm hoping that's the way you say it. It looks phonetic.
And
to be Gillerin.
And I want to jump in to say that. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, I don't want to.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well,
sorry.
we'll get back to that.
Sorry.
Maybe.
I'll
get back to that. Maybe. Sorry. I don't know what that was.
Sorry.
But anyways, Thomas and Lacey were talking, and they were just kind of, talking random Schmoedown stuff. And Andrew called in, and he was like, "Hey guys, I'm Andrew."
That's exactly what I was saying. Hey, I'm Andrew.
Hey guys. It's me.
It's me, Andrew the Hunter Dimalanta.
It's me, Andrew. Hi.
Hey.
But anyways, he left a voice note and he was like, "It's me." And it's me, Andrew, and welcome to the league, and happy to see what you guys be a part of the the Star Wars division.
It's basically like, hey, it's Andrew. As a veteran player, I just want to say welcome to the league. It's always great to see like new blood. I'm always excited to see new blood, and especially in the Star Wars division.
Yeah.
So I'll just welcome them and stuff like that. So
yeah. And Thomas had said something about, I'm glad that you called. I'm glad that you brought this up, because it almost feels like, and he said that there was no one specific person in particular. It just kind of felt like an overall, I'm going to say it again, vibe. Yeah. And coy. If he's, I doubt he's watching it again, but like the vibe was immaculate.
The vibe is immaculate.
But yeah, on the Mercs. But yeah, Thomas was saying that the overall vibe just kind of felt like there was this divide between Star Wars veterans and Star Wars rookies. And yeah, Andrew had some thoughts in his brain
I
about
did
it.
because before I get into that, like I was listening to Harper because I was like, I want to see what he has to say about the Schmoedown, and because and there's no, again, anytime we talk about a certain person, it's not shit on anything else that we're not talking about. To me, as much as I've been listening to him, he seems the most prepared out of the incoming DragonCon players. Like,
man seems like he's doing some homework.
Yeah, he seems like he's been going out of his way to learn the game as much as possible without playing it. So I wanted to see, like, listen in on that. I'm expecting him to be like, oh, like, I know this about Star Wars, and it's
I do DragonCon, and I'm gonna win everything.
Yeah, and like with every single personality in the Schmoedown that we've met in person, it's always like the complete opposite. He sounds like a fun dude.
I kind of want to be friends with him.
Yeah, and I kind of want to like just jump on a stereo conversation with him. Just like, let's just talk Star Wars.
That's what I was saying.
Let's not worry about
the
Schmoedown right now. And let's just talk Star Wars. Let's talk parenting, because
he has a kid that I think is around the same age as our kid, which immediately makes us like, let's be friends.
That's a fun thing that like anytime I immediately find out somebody is a parent, it's like this instant invisible connection that we all have, and it's like, all right, we're instant friends because we gone through it together.
Yeah, they had kids, am I right? But yeah,
he sounds like such a fun dude that I would just love to sit down and talk to, because from what I saw in DragonCon and what I saw in the after shows, he seems like from what I saw, he seemed like this intense guy. And he's a lawyer. Yeah, he's in the military. It's like, oh god, he has that air about him. And then when I was listening to this, it's like so chill, and he's joking around. I'm like, God, it would just be so fun just to sit and talk to him.
That's what I'm saying.
But as far as
like a lot of fun,
as far as the divide goes between veterans and the incoming rookies, it's not so much the mindset of the veteran players.
And Andrew can only speak for himself.
I can only speak for myself.
Disclaimer, I can only speak for myself.
I'm excited when new people come in, because it's more people in the division, brings more eyes to the division that I think because this division is, for the longest time, was 3 people.
And for the longest time, hey Christian, you really need to get rid of the Star Wars League. Yeah. It's gonna happen again, even with how big it's become. It's still that yearly conversation is still gonna come up.
Yeah, and even when me and Laura debuted, it was still like,
hey Christian, when are we gonna give up the Star Wars belt?
It just felt like the same people just ping ponging back and forth, competing for the belt and trying to get it out of Alex's cold dead hands.
Jesus.
But now with all this incoming talent, it's like, all right, now more eyes are on the Schmoedown division and the Star Wars division, and it's a new challenge for us veterans. I think the divide that he's talking about is mainly created by the fans, because it's like, you know what I mean?
Well, and I think it's unique this year because like when you and Laura and Molly came in, and Andy Blanchard was also part of. I mean, we haven't seen him since his first match, but I mean, it was the same deal. I mean, he debuted, right? Yeah. That was you guys. It was you guys. You guys were the rookies that year. I feel like that year was like, oh, there's Molly Damon, part of Star Wars Explained. There's Andy Blanchard, part of whatever he is affiliated with. And then, there's, Laura, she's Four Stars Podcast. And, it was just kind of like, oh, there's these people coming in. And it was a very small rookie class. And then this year, you get DragonCon people. Yeah. And it's like they're on this pedestal.
Yeah.
They beat Alex Damon 27 times. And like he cries when he looks at them because he's so ashamed. And there's this like crazy, like I said, pedestal that everyone is putting them on. And I feel like that is what might be creating this kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's like we haven't really had, there's been rumblings of DragonCon people for a while now. And now that it's happening, so glad to be part of the season that it's happening. But now that it's happening, I feel like it's just kind of like, oh, screw everyone else. These guys and gals are going to run this division now. And they, you know, we don't even care about the rest of these people that play in the division. It's just Alex against DragonCon. And I feel like that's kind of where it's coming from. And I don't know, just from an outsider looking in. I mean, I understand that I'm considered a Star Wars rookie, but it still feels like from the outside looking in. That's what I think could be creating that kind of feeling.
Yeah, that feeling is divided because it's like, from my understanding, it's like, the DragonCon are coming in, but like, it's the fans like blowing them up. It's like they're gonna run through it, and it's us veterans seeing that like, hey, don't forget what we did in the past season. Don't forget, like,
hey
we've
guys,
been here.
Did you watch that Star Wars tournament? Because we did things too.
We're here too. Don't forget about us. Don't immediately shun us to the side just because these people are coming with like a hot hand.
Yeah,
it's like they have to like we did. They have to cut their teeth. They have to plow their own way in the snow. And
don't understand that saying.
I don't know.
Teeth.
I don't know why I just said it. Sorry, but you know what I mean. They have to pave their own way too. Don't just immediately give them the belt. And I think with us saying that, you know, people like me and like, you know, Ace has said it too, and all these other veterans that, you know, we worked so hard to get to where we were, and for these people to come in and everybody's like, oh well, forget the old guard. These new people are it. They're just giving the belt right away. And it's like
no contest.
It's like no contest. It's like no, you still got to prove yourself. Yeah. I don't care how many times you beat Alex Damon in this format. You still got to prove yourself in this format, and that might sound like, you know, screw the rookies,
but it's not.
I'm just saying, it's like you still have to go through what I went through.
Every rookie's got to prove themselves.
Exactly.
I mean, you're new to the game.
It's not that I'm saying like, you know, screw the rookies because I made this division and blah blah blah. It's like no, it's like let's see, let's see what they can do. I'm so excited to see them play. It's just don't give them the belt when they haven't played a single match.
Yeah,
and I apologize if Thomas is taking that as, you know, like this divide that like I don't want you here because you're bringing all this nonsense to my door. It's like no, I welcome it. I want a challenge. Yeah. And if we do end up squaring off at some point down the season, bring it on, man. It'd be fun.
No, because I think that it's just I don't think it's anyone's fault.
Yeah, no,
like
it's
this
just
the feeling.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any. It's not like, oh, it's the fans' fault or it's the veterans' fault. I don't think it's anybody's fault. It just kind of happens. It's just kind of human nature. You see some new novel player that, oh my God, they've beaten Alex Damon in some kind of format. Yeah. And everyone's just blinded by that. And it just kind of happens. It's just human nature to be infatuated with something like that. Like, oh my God, Alex Damon is this like unbeatable Star Wars unicorn that we've never seen before. And he's untouchable, this mythological creature that no one can beat. But then all of a sudden these people come in and they can all say they've beaten him. Yeah. So of course everyone's going to be infatuated with them. But I think that's kind of where it's coming from. I don't think it's anybody's fault. I think it was just a lot like just dominoes falling. Like you know how like you see the videos, like it starts with one thing and then just goes and just by the time you're done with it, there's like a room full of things and it's like, man, just play. And like speaking of DragonCon players in particular, I wholeheartedly I've never really actually spoken to. I mean, I was just on a Zoom call and Marie was on it, but we didn't like speak to each other. Yeah. So literally I've never actually spoken to any of the DragonCon players, but I wholeheartedly believe that none of them are coming in like, this is my game.
Oh yeah, no.
Give me that belt. I don't think any of them. They are well versed in trivia and they are well aware of the fact that they are new to this game.
Yeah, and they are all doing their homework.
Exactly. So I don't think they're coming in here like, give me that belt, it's mine. Yeah. So, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And I didn't realize that anyone kind of felt that kind of way until Thomas mentioned it. Yeah. So who knows? I'm sure we're talking about it too much to where it's really not that big of a deal. Yeah. But it's just interesting to think about.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because I never thought about it that way.
Because you see it all the time, I think, with IG players. You saw this last year with Robert Parker. And that's the shining example of, like, don't expect the Dragon players to come in and just wreck shop. They may as well do that. But let's not get ahead of ourselves because Robert Parker was, let's crown him at the beginning of the season when he had yet to play a single match. And then it just didn't go his way.
Did anybody watch season 7 and see how many unexpected things happened?
Yeah.
Like nothing is guaranteed in this game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I mean, you can't blame anybody.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't blame fans for getting excited about something like this happening. You can't blame anybody. It's just kind of the way it happens.
Yeah, so Thomas, if you're listening, sorry.
Do you want to do a stereo?
Do you want
Maybe.
I mean, that'd be fun.
Not with me, because you wouldn't. Let's talk about our daughters.
I've said it many times. You've not only impressed me with your trivia Star Wars knowledge, but how far you've come as a Star Wars fan.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The leaps you've made in the past 2 years is beyond like anything I can ever imagined.
Yeah.
When I first met you, when we first started dating,
there was a time that I was like, which one is episode 5? Which one is the title? What's the title of episode 5? Like, which ones are the original ones? The only thing I really know is that the Phantom Menace is the first one.
The Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Menace?
Yes.
But there was a time in my life that I was just kind of like, I can't remember which episode goes with which title. And I like tried to mash them up one time. It didn't go well. And now I'm over here like making philosophical arguments about like Anakin's struggle.
What we were watching? We were watching Rise. I think we were watching Rise.
I was making a comparison with Kylo and Anakin.
Yeah, and we were talking and I'm like, you realize a year or two prior to this, you would never said anything like that. No. And you're talking like a lifelong Star Wars fan now. Like, I'm loving this. Like, where was this when we first met?
I'd never seen Star Wars when we first met. It wasn't there.
So I'm thoroughly impressed with, again, not just the knowledge that you've just pounded into your head.
Oh my God, there's so much.
But how far you've come. I think
in this head.
I think now you could. It's like, yeah, you might sit in with people like me, Alex, and Thomas, and all those people that have been watching all our lives.
I feel like a child sitting in a conversation with you guys.
You would probably sit there with like, oh, who's that character? I don't know that story because of Clone Wars. And
all that stuff. I don't know backstories.
But then if we got into a conversation that you are we got into a conversation about the sequel trilogy, I think you would be able to say a few things.
Maybe
you'd be able to contribute to the conversation, not just sit there like.
Yeah, because if you guys start talking about like TV shows, spoiler alert, I haven't watched any. Besides Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But like if we're talking like Rebels and Resistance and Clone Wars.
I think if we talked about something that sparked your fandom, like the sequels really most definitely sparked your fandom. I think if we talked mostly about that stuff, you'd be able to really contribute to the conversation.
Maybe.
But yeah.
We should have, can't do it on stereo. It would be a lot of fun. Let's get a babysitter, and then let's ask Thomas to get a babysitter, and then maybe we'll like get on a big Zoom call and just talk about stuff.
Talk about parenting.
And be like, hey, Alex and Molly.
If we can find the time, I would love to have him on the show and just,
Hey, Joseph Scrimshaw, Ken Knapsack. You want to talk about planets?
So... Yeah, that's the fun little conversations that we just went over, because again we were like, what are we talking about this episode? And I think next episode we're going to talk about upcoming matches that have been announced. Yeah, and obviously we'll get into the first matches of the season with the Intergeekdom title and the number one contender match with Laura Kelly and Molly Damon. God, my mind is mush. A lot of information being stacked in there, and even tonight. So
there's so much.
Yeah.
Star Wars garbage.
So yeah, I think next week we'll be going over upcoming matches. There's been quite a few
matches.
Yeah, there've been quite a few matches, and we'll get into that next week. Yeah, announced.
Oh, boy.
So
I can only think of like 3. Is there more than that?
Oh, like what? Which ones?
Like the first one that's a double header, and then another one that's an Intergeekdom match.
Yeah, the Alex Damon Barbarian.
Spoilers,
match.
Yeah.
The Dan Murrell, Jeff
okay.
Snyder,
yeah, there have been some other
match.
things.
There's been a couple,
I guess.
So we'll give our thoughts on that next week. So shorter episode today. Probably another shorter episode next week, but I think we'll end here. Nicki Dimalanta, Star Wars competitor. Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
Not yet.
Yes.
Can't be a competitor.
You're drafted. You're a competitor.
Can't be competitive. I haven't competed.
That'll be soon.
What?
You haven't heard anything yet? No?
God, no. Please. No. Not yet.
Anyways, where can they find you online?
Give me some time to have a full-fledged freak out panic attack before you give me a match. You can find me on Twitter at Dimmy, DIMMMYYY.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA, not DRE. You know what? I had like 2 E's in the last one.
Whoops.
I fixed it. Sorry, I was up late doing that graphic. But yeah, Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. I was checking my eyes closed. If you listen to this on audio form, please follow the feed, rate us if you can.
Yes. And if you're watching us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and then click the bell icon in the lower right-hand corner so when we do things on YouTube. And then maybe one day we'll do something on stereo.
I want to.
I want to
I just don't know.
also.
I don't see how it would work with both of us.
I just want a stereo friend. But then it's just kind of like, when?
I find it interesting that people are following me on stereo like I'm going to do something. I know, right? I have like 50 plus followers. I'm like, I'm not really doing anything on it.
50 plus followers.
I don't know. It's like, I haven't been doing anything, people. Sorry. Anyways, thank you for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. We'll see you next time.